If I was a professional footballer, big if, I know, and if I was young, looking for minutes to develop my career, I would want the best possible footballing apprenticeship available to me. In Arsenal loanees Matteo Guendouzi and William Saliba, I believe they have that. And yes, Guendouzi does have an option to buy, we'll get into that in a bit. The Arsenal loanees have moved to Marseille after quite a ropey start to their Arsenal careers, and honestly, words cannot describe the situation on the south coast right now. Jorge Sampaoli is in charge of the team, getting them to play in a fluid 3-2-4-1 system. Saliba has often drifted into the right wing position, while Guendouzi's occupied the striking position at times. To most people, it's a 4-2-3-1 the wrong way up. It's insane. We're only 3 games into the season, and Marseille are already one of my favourite teams I think I've watched in the past couple of years. So I thought it'd be fun to explore their team through the prism of how Saliba and Guendouzi are going to improve in this side. January 2021, probably Marseille's lowest point in recent memory. The fans attacked the training ground after the side struggled in the 2021 Ligue 1 season, with particularly boring football under Andreas Villas-Boas. They had scored 26 goals in 21 games, and by the time of the training ground attack, they had won 1 of their last 8 matches. Lille were leading the charge for the title, with Lyon, Monaco and PSG in pace, and if Marseille had been strong, they could have made their own charge. Further frustration came when the club purchased Oliver Nietscham against Villas-Boas' wishes, which saw him leave the club. Frustrations were also the result of a long-standing anger to the club's owner, Frank McCourt, who in his first 4 years in charge at Marseille had lost €200 million from the club. Marseille have only qualified once for the Champions League since 2013-14, and when they did in 2021 they were awful, winning just 1 game and losing 5 in their group, finishing bottom. And so after Boas was sacked and the quest to find a replacement had finished, the man they had settled on was Jorge Sampaoli. Sampaoli is a name you've probably heard of but don't know much about. The 61-year-old has been in management since 1991, and 25 years of his managerial career have been spent nearly exclusively in Argentina and Chile. In that time, he did take the Chile national team to the 2015 Copa America, with Alexis Sanchez and co beating Argentina and Messi on penalties in the final. Now, Sampaoli is often compared to Marcelo Bielsa, and while this isn't the time for a full biography, it's definitely worth providing you some background to what is an eccentric character. Sampaoli's teams are aggressive and press extremely high. Even managing the Chile national team saw Sanchez and co press radically. Others may know him after he managed Argentina in the 2018 World Cup. When the reports came out that Messi and other members of the squad were fed up of him after they drew 1-1 with Iceland and lost 3-0 to Croatia, so they started selecting their own team. Yeah, He's quite divisive. The last and only other European club side Sampaoli has managed was Sevilla. He took charge of them for 1 season, something not uncommon in Sampaoli's career. He has rarely taken charge of a club for more than 2 seasons. But even at Sevilla, he led them to their best finish in 7 years, 4th spot in La Liga. He ended a 40-game unbeaten streak for Zidane's Madrid, although they were the side that lost to Leicester in the 2016-17 Champions League round of 16. As explained on Breaking the Lines, he helped revolutionise the squad. As he has done at Marseille, he worked closely with the sporting director, it was Monchi at Sevilla, to bring in a very, very attractive list of targets. Let me read them off. Joaquin Correa from Sampdoria, now at Lazio. Ben Yedder from Toulouse, now at Monaco. Clement Longley from Nancy, now at Barcelona. Pablo Sarabia for under £1 million, now at PSG. There were misses, but it was a very good window on the whole. And his side, apparently Sampaoli said of his team, disorganise yourself in attack in order to be organised in defence. What a quote. So Sampaoli arrived at Marseille in February and guided them to a 5th place spot, but this summer he completely overhauled the squad, apparently working extremely closely, much more than most managers, with the recruitment team on the players he specifically wanted to play in his new system. It sounds very familiar to Bielsa at Leeds. So now let's give an explanation of what Sampaoli actually wants to do with his side. Sampaoli likes wide forwards and a false 9. This is all a part of trying to create numerical superiority in attack, with space for his players to drive and run into. This means that the wide men are often hugging the touchline, giving themselves as much space as possible. Then centrally, it's fascinating. There is really no focal striker, but instead a kind of group of about 3 players who will drop off before racing into the forward position, with 2 attacking midfielders behind them. Sampaoli encourages his DMs and centre-backs to push up too. the centre-backs will often play as full-backs, moving wide and overlapping the wide forwards to stop them getting isolated or getting doubled up on by two defenders. The attacking midfielders will often drop deep with the forwards to provide support, which allows a DM to make a run centrally. Defensively, it's all about counter-pressing, stopping the opposition from getting out of their half, and then if that fails, retreating into something like a back five. Now onto the players. Let's focus on William Saliba first. Now, he occupies the right centre-back role in Sampaoli's system, and although he's a little more reserved than Lucas Perez on the opposite side of the back three, Saliba has still made runs into the box, which you can see by his heat map. It's pretty crazy how far he is pushing up. He's basically a centre-back and an attacking right back all in one at the moment. I definitely think he's working particularly well with Cengiz Under, one of the other players that's been brought in for Marseille on loan. Now, to some people this might sound awkward and it could be a stuttering moment for Saliba, but I think this is brilliant for the long-term future of his career. It forces him to think more like an attacker. And do you ever wonder why Antonio Valencia, Victor Moses, Ashley Young all move further back down the pitch in their careers? It's because the years of trying to beat a fullback, trying to beat a defender one-on-one, gives you that experience, that mindset, so when an attacker is trying to do the exact same thing to you, you can almost telepathically read their next movement. Saliba won 64% of his ground duels last year at Nice, but he was attempting less than a tackle per 90, so he really wasn't getting stuck in as much. Whereas now, this is really going to stretch the limit of his abilities and push him further than I think he's been pushed so far in his career. And after such a torrid year mentally for him, I think this is perfect. It's just going to give him a complete new distraction, something that's going to overload his footballing brain, I think, and that will be really good for him this year. Then let's get on to Matteo Guendouzi. Guendouzi has been playing at right attacking midfield. He's already got an assist, and he's really the main midfielder to occupy the forward spaces so far. Gerson, a Brazilian midfielder alongside him, has been a little more between the lines, but Guendouzi's been given free rein under Sampaoli to roam up front. Sampaoli is an experienced but loud character. I think he's totally different to what Guendouzi's actually had managed him in the past, because from what I've seen of Guendouzi, and I'll be honest, I know less of you, I know less than you Arsenal fans know, but from what I've looked at, it seems like he suffers when the team's not really doing as well, or it's just not doing as well but boring. Like under Arteta and Emery, it's just constant spotlight on him, and under Hertha Berlin were battling relegation, so he was also made a bit of a scapegoat, and I think when that happens he lashes out. So I think at Marseille it's different because they've promoted him as one of the main kit modelers. He's started every game so far. I think he's being given a lot of responsibility and just getting given a lot of freedom as well, not only on the pitch but off the pitch, to become more of a man, mature a bit. And I think Sampaoli's the right man to put an arm around him and promote him when he needs to be promoted and kick him back down when he needs to be kicked back down. Now, I can't make a video about Marseille without quickly mentioning some of the other players in here. I mean, Dimitri Payet has operated as that false nine I spoke about, and it's really shone well. I mean, at Montpellier he did very well, but at Bordeaux, when Guendouzi assisted him on the halfway line passing sideways, it's because Payet had dropped all the way back and just drove straight at the Bordeaux defence, cut inside and shot a nice low finish into the bottom corner. Vintage Payet. Cengiz Under also has 2 goals. He's looked really confident so far, but the standout player is Conrad de la Fuente. He has been electric. Conrad de la Fuente is an American 20-year-old, just turned 20-year-old, who was born in Miami but moved to Spain aged 10. He was picked up by Barcelona barely 2 years later, and in the mass exodus of talent by the club in 2021, Fuente was picked up by Marseille. So far he's stood out. He's a right-footed left winger, and while he's less proven than, say, Noni Madueke, he looks really, really dangerous. Not only is he incredibly quick, but also good at moving the ball at pace too. He's also been fantastic going on the outside of defenders, despite being right-footed, which shows how talented he is on both feet and how unpredictable he is. Definitely keep an eye on him. Honestly, I'm so excited to watch Marseille. I mean, they're going to be on TV pretty much every week now on BT Sport, so if you're an Arsenal fan or just like another fan, it's worth keeping an eye on them, especially since the last couple of games they've played on the evening kickoff on a Sunday when there's no Premier League matches, so you may as well use your subscription if you have it and tune in for it. Also, they will be playing in the Europa League, so I'm really excited to see what they do there. Probably go out in the group stage, but you know, we can have hope. The only thing I'll say that they can improve is their kit. For God's sake. I came this close to buying a Marseille shirt until I saw it had Uber Eats written on it. So the kit manufacturers at Marseille, can you please make a less bullyable kit next season? Thank you.